Hello and welcome to week 5 of AC 1110 Accounting Fundamentals. Before we go into anything else, I just want to point out that this is the final week. The class will close on Sunday, and therefore there's no late work generally after that point. So any late work that we want to pick up from prior weeks, as well as all the work within week 5, which we'll take a look at. And there's a little less work this week in that we're not covering any new chapters per se. We're just covering chapter 5 again. But all that work needs to be turned in by Sunday. So make sure if you need to make up any work, if you need to schedule extra time, this is the time to do it because the class does close on Sunday. Now that being said, the class, my gradebook is due the following Tuesday. Tuesday nights, the grades are out of my hands, meaning I put the grades into Moodlerooms. They will push out to the Campus View website, and they'll be out of my hands by Tuesday. So if you do have any questions about the grades, I'm going to try to get them in there by Monday or early Tuesday. You want to check it Tuesday afternoon or Monday night and see if they look correct on your end and ask me any questions before the grades are out of my hands, which will be Tuesday night. If there's any very unusual circumstances, we can take that on a case-by-case basis. Otherwise, just realize that the class will close on Sunday, and you got to get all the grades in as of that time. That being said, remember that my contact information is here. We have my name, my email address, the phone number. We also have office hours, one more office hours on Monday. We'll be using the conference call line as well as the URL address. This is a very effective way to take a look at problems because we can share my screen or look at your screen, and we can work problems and answer questions in that format. This is optional. You don't have to come to this. But if you need help and you want to take a look at something, this is an effective way to do that. We might be able to set up another time to look at it in this format, and or Amanda Edwards can also be contacted to set up time. Amanda S. Edwards also has office hours on Wednesday, and she goes over a lot of the topics for week 5 as well. So contact either of us to set up some time if you want to get some extra time to get in there. Also recommend using this type of software because it is used in business. We actually use this software in this conference line for our business meetings as well as with students, and it's quite effective. It's going to be used more and more as we do more work over the internet and do virtual work. Going to go over here to the gradebook on the left hand side, and remember that the grades are going to be graded once a week into Moodlerooms at least. So most of our work is going to be in Connect. You want to go in here into the gradebook at least once a week. The grades should be updated by the end of Tuesday. So Tuesday night or Wednesday morning is when you really want to go in and double check this and make sure that it is up to date. And this is the final week, so you want to be able to pick everything up through Sunday as much as possible. So go in here on Wednesday, make sure that everything looks the way you think it should look. And if anything does not have full credit, less than full credit, then you want to see if you can pick that up. Most of the work can be picked up. You may get late points on it, but you can generally pick up late work, so you want to be able to pick that up by the following Sunday. The one thing that can't generally be picked up late are the quizzes unless there's an unusual circumstance. In that case, you'd have to tell me what that circumstance is, and then I would take that on a case-by-case basis and give an extension or not based on the circumstances on a case-by-case basis. So remember to go through in here and pick any late work up that you can. Going to go back up to the cookie trail. Going to go down to the current week that we are in. It's going to be week 5. And scroll down, see what we have. We have the objectives. We have the topics down here. The lesson is going to be chapter 5. So we're not going into anything new here. We're going to continue on chapter 5. Chapter 5 is a fairly comprehensive chapter, but much of it goes over the same material that we looked at in chapters 1 through 4, being the accounting cycle. So we're going to do the same type of recording transactions, but some of the transactions, which of course are the ones we will focus on, will be more complex because we now have to deal with inventory. So that added step of inventory is what we are including in chapter 5. The rest of the process in terms of entering the information as a journal entry, then the adjusting process, the closing process, all the same for a merchandising company. We just have that added step now of inventory that gives some complications. We have the videos that you can take a look at. down here related to Chapter 5, as well as some of these core concepts that you want to keep looking at and going back to as much as possible. We have our discussion forum. I do want to point out that what I recommend to approach these classes in a format is that you want to get as much of the discussion forums points as possible. I would shoot for 100% of the discussion forum points. They're worth 20% of the grade. They're the ones that you have the most control over. So you want to get 100% of the discussion forum points. You want to get as much of the assignments and the homework points that you can. And then if you do not do as well on the quizzes as you hope, then you should have a fairly large cushion in that way. The quizzes are worth 33% of the grade, and the quizzes, the finals, and the midterm are all worth 33% of the grade. That's a substantial part of the grade. You want to study for that and make sure to pick that up. The final is worth more than the quizzes, so you want to study for the final for sure. But remember that a very large part of the grade is due to homework and discussion forums as well. So make sure, and those of course will help you to do well on the quiz. So make sure to pick up the discussion forum points as much as you can, and then make sure to pick up as many of the assignments as you can. Discussion forums, how to get full credit, you need a minimum of 4 posts. Most students need more than 4 posts. The posts need to add content. You can post to anybody's post, and you can answer to any of my questions. Obviously by this time you see that I'm going to put a lot of questions in there, so there should be more than enough material for everybody to be able to get their minimum of 4. I would post like 7 to 8 posts just to make sure that you pick up the points as you go to next classes in your course through this program. Teachers, instructors will grade differently on discussion forum posts based on what they feel is the best criteria. It's a fairly subjective type of grading, so you want to do more on the discussion forum posts in most of the classes until you get used to different instructors' grading styles within those. The assignments are going to be here. Now remember, this assignment is in Connect. This is the longer assignment. So if we go up to Connect and we go down to week 5, this will be a fairly comprehensive assignment, but remember to open the paperclip here. That will give you an Excel worksheet, which will give you a lot of the format. Remember that there's an example problem that will show you basically the debits and credits of the accounts. The numbers will change. The format will be much the same. So even if you don't completely complete the problem, if you run into a time constraint, because you do want to pick up a lot of points just by looking at the format of these, and pick up as many points as you can. Don't leave it as a 0, because in a fairly short amount of time you can pick up a lot of points by observing the format of the Excel sheet and implementing that into the workbook. And these longer comprehensive problems really worth doing because they give you the full view of what's going on in it. So let me know if you got any questions on those. Going to go back over here. This is the Moodlerooms problem. You're going to open this Excel worksheet. This is not a very long problem, so you can do this fairly quickly, and then upload that worksheet here. So you want to upload it into Moodleroom by clicking on the words, and then there'll be a submit button once this week has opened right there. You want to submit it into Moodlerooms. If you have any prior week assignments that are the assignment 2 Moodleroom assignments, which you entered into Connect possibly here, then make sure to go back and enter them into Moodlerooms in this area by clicking here and entering into Moodlerooms. I won't take off any points because I know that people are used to being in Connect if you turn those in late. So make sure to get those in so that we can grade them within Moodlerooms. We want to get used to doing some assignments in Moodlerooms because later on, much more of your work in other classes could be in Moodlerooms. Not so much the accounting classes, but other types of classes. And then the homework will be down here. This is the Learnsmart. We're just going to continue on Chapter 5. The quiz is the final is going to be due by Sunday. Make sure to take the final. Do not get a 0 on the final. So even if you're not ready to take the final, you have to take it by Sunday, and there's really not any leeway to make that up late unless there's a very unusual circumstance. But remember, the grades are going to be due, and so there's not much leeway in any case because the grades will be out of my hands, and I got to put the grades in the gradebook by the following Tuesday. So make sure to get that in there. And then we've got the survey. So once you've completed the week 5 final, you'll be prompted to take a survey. This is just on the instructor side of things. So, you know, it's not really based on do you like Connect or not, do you like Moodlerooms as much or not. It's basically on my presentation of the material or how we manage the resources within those tools. My expectation from Charter is to get like a 90% on these items. Also, if there was any part of the information that was useful, such as videos like these and or worksheets, then try to put those in the notes if you would, and I'll see if I can get more of you know, worksheets and stuff like that to help out with the longer problems. And if you do have comments on like Connect or the use of Connect, or whether it's, you know, easy to use or not, and or the format of Moodlerooms, put those in the notes as well, and we'll get those to the design team. I'll try to get those to the design team so that they can take a look at those type of questions and comments as well. So that's going to be it for week 5. So have a great week 5.